those partnerships and multi-sector collaboratives that we're part of, that we lead, they are just so essential to our work. And all of your organizations and our organization, we rely on those partnerships to be able to get anything done. So we know how important those are. You know how important those are. They help us to really understand the fullest concept and context of the community. They help us to be able to reach groups that we may not have trusted relationships with. Building partnerships is all about that relationship building. So it's identifying who the partners are that you need, and what the best way is to engage them and to build a relationship with them. It doesn't just happen, by one meeting. As you know, that people all of a sudden trust you and want to work with you and come along on this journey with you. It may take multiple interactions and meetings, but it's really part of the essential of our jobs. And I think a lot of you, when you're thinking about what you spend your time in doing your job, a lot of time it's around relationship building. And so building that relationship, building that trust, having solid communication with our partners, all those things are so important to our work. And when we're thinking about the steps in this process, in developing, we need to make sure that we're doing active listening, right? We're not just talking and sharing all of our needs, but we're also making sure we're really listening to the community partners, and that we're hearing back what they have to say and what their needs are. If we're really listening well, we oftentimes find out what's really important to them in the partnership. And that's important to understand how you can keep that part alive, how you can nurture that piece so that you can continue to have a mutually beneficial partnership. A lot of times we think about, what are the partners that I need or we need as an organization, and how to engage them, but we don't really think, why do they need us? And we want to focus on that too by really actively listening. We want to build trust with them. And that means doing what we say we're going to do. It means being our authentic selves. It means being very transparent and clear about what our intentions are, holding ourselves accountable. All of those types of things are important for building trust, and it may take time. Some of our organizations may have damaged relationships with certain partners, and we have to really do that repair building and rebuild that trust. And that can happen through communication and transparency and cultural humility, all with that in mind, that we don't come in knowing everything, that we are there to, and we're partnering with this person or this individual or this organization to learn. And to, again, have a mutually beneficial relationship and how we can learn and grow together. So those partners are really important, and thinking about people across sectors, not just our healthcare or public health partners, but who do we need in terms of policymakers? Who do we need that may work in other areas or fields that our community may connect to or may have relationships with? So why might we need to partner with the faith institution or with schools? So there are a variety of different partners we can think about here. So moving on to just the next slide, I want to just sort of think about some of the steps that we're recommending as you're thinking about partners. So if you think about one issue you're working on, and perhaps it's the one that if you're a BHC grantee that you're funded to work on, who bears the brunt of the impact of that particular issue? Are their voices fully present in your project and your work? Are they centered? Are they empowered and supported to act? So we really want to define and inventory who our current partners are. Who do we have engaged? Who are those partners? Who are those partners that can reach segments or priority populations, segments of the community, priority populations that we really need to reach because they are experiencing greater inequities? So we want to list out who those partners are and inventory them, define them, and look at who's missing. Who's missing from that we really need to reach and get to? Not just who do we have a relationship with, but who are these other partners that can help reach these segments of the community, or that we need to partner with because they are more of a trusted entity than we are. We don't always have to be the center of the focus. We can pass that on to other organizations. And I know many of you engage with other organizations to do that. After you have sort of defined who your partners need to be, which ones you have a relationship with, which ones you don't, you really then want to make a plan, an outreach plan with timelines and action steps of how you can develop a meaningful relationship with them and engage that partner. And as you bring on new partners, we really want to make sure you have thought and are planful about how you will show that you value that relationship, and how you will continue to nurture some of your new partners who may require a little bit more of your time than some of the partners you've had relationships with. So how will you make them feel welcome? How will you make them feel as though you really actually are listening to them and that you're valuing their time? How will you evaluate that from their perspective? How will you find out from them if they feel valued and they feel listened to? So that continuous improvement in gathering feedback from them will really be important. And I think the most important thing that we can say on this slide is that as you're thinking about engaging partners, you have to ask yourself, are we willing to change what we planned on doing or what we were going to do based on what we hear and learn? So it may not always change, but sometimes our partnerships will require that we make some changes. They will have knowledge and information that we don't have. They'll have recommendations that may be different than what we had planned. So by partnering with trusted entities or other sources, are we willing to change based on what we learn? And that's not always true. Sometimes we partner with policymakers and they are expecting us to make a change that is not going to achieve the same outcome as we had hoped for. So it's not always paired one and one there, but that is an important piece.